Long, long ago, there was a sage named Mandavya. He was performing a very difficult penance in which he had to hold his right hand raised high above his head and would not speak. One day, some robbers were chased by the men from king's side because they had stolen some valuables. They found the ashrama of Sage Mandavya to be a safe place to hide. The king's men came and questioned the sage, who would not respond because of his penance. When the king's men went and looked inside his ashrama, they found the robbers hiding there with everything that was stolen. They connected the two things together and decided unilaterally that this sage was the chief of robbers, and along with the robbers, he was taken to the king and punished. The punishment was impalement by a trident. While the robbers died, because of the powers of yoga, this sage lived and suffered. Eventually, when the king found out his mistake, he came and prostrated in front of the sage and asked for his forgiveness. The sage immediately forgave the king, but when he eventually died and went to the Yama Loka, he confronted God Yama, the god of death. He said, "Oh Yama, what mistakes have I done in my life that you made me suffer such?" And Yama had a ready answer. He said, "You tortured birds and insects by poking them with sticks when you were young." Mandavya tried to remember these days and understood that he had done it in the ignorance and innocence of childhood without understanding the implications of pain on those animals. He therefore made a deal with Yama that children under the age of 12 should not be held responsible for their actions and should be treated as juveniles. However, his anger at the extreme punishment he had received for such a small mistake was such that he cursed the god of death himself. He said, "O Dharma, O Yama, I curse you that you will be born as a mortal and understand how difficult life is for men and women. You will live an entire long life as a human, and let me see how you live without making any mistakes." That curse was finally fulfilled in the Dwapara Yuga when sage Vyasa and the servant of Ambika, Parishrami, got together and created a child called Vidura. Therefore, this Vidura is a reincarnation of Lord Yama himself or Lord Dharma himself, and he became the advisor for Dhritarashtra. While Vidura is never considered a candidate for getting on the throne of Kuru Vamsha, it was either Pandu or Dhritarashtra, even though Vidura was much more suited for the role. We see Vidura playing important roles along the way, whether it is warning the Pandavas to safety when they go to the Lakshagriha, or advising Dhritarashtra to control his son Duryodhana when he was getting out of hand, or listening to what Draupadi was saying and reacting to it when she was being insulted, or being responsible for Vidura Niti, which is considered to be almost at a level of Bhagavad Gita when it comes to advice given for humanity. Vidura plays a very important role along the way in the background, but is never considered ready for taking over the throne, because while Vyasa was his father, his mother was a lowly servant lady.